What is up, guys? Welcome. We are live. Oh my god, that camera's so fucking. That. Sorry. You have to change the. You have to change the lighting on this. It's just. No, I'm not. Can't get any sort of. Maybe that'll do. I don't know. The lighting's not to my liking tonight. Yeah, but what's up, guys? Live Sunday night. We have got a special guest tonight, as well as a recurring guest. So, with no further, don't even know. I fucked that one up already. Anyway, let's we'll bring in JT first because JT's obviously a regular on this channel now. So JT, what's up, man?
What's up, guys? How are we doing?
Not bad, man. Not bad.
Yeah. This robe just was sitting in my closet. I said, "It's a nice, comfortable robe." I'm very mad I forgot about it.
I'm liking the hat, man. It's looking very,
very
big.
Second, like my hair looks like shit. Toss this shit off. I wear it every now and then. It's my lucky Irish hat.
You look like you. I don't know if you've ever seen Peaky Blinders.
Yeah,
you look like a character from Peaky Blinders.
I just got all set. We finished the new season.
So let's. We won't beat around the bush. Let's bring in our special guest tonight. Somebody who was on the channel a couple of weeks ago, but technical issues kind of fucked things up. But we've got another guest as well. Let's just bring in Dave first, anyway. Dave, what's up, man?
How's it going, guys? You all right?
Yeah, good, man. Good, man. Nice to see no internet connections, no internet problems now. All looking good.
Don't say that just yet, mate.
I'll try not to curse the stream, but good to see you on board, man.
Good to see you two guys. How are you both keeping? Doing well?
Yeah, very well, man. Very well.
You enjoy your birthday?
I had a little bit too much, mate. Yeah.
You didn't peek on the couch, like I said, right?
I'm only just feeling normal now. I've realised I can't party like I used to anymore, so it'll be quite nice for me from now on.
That's why I don't go out and party.
That's what happens when you hit your 40s, man. When you hit your 40s, I know you're 42, so you've got a couple of years' experience of not being able to do too much. But
absolutely, but I really realised it this weekend.
It takes usually 3 reminders or something, maybe 10, before you finally like, all right, I can't do this no more.
Yeah, I'm not a quitter, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't quit anything else. I quit that.
And we've got another very special guest, which was totally unexpected. 11 o'clock at night. I didn't think we'd see this man on this channel, but Gareth from Video Tasty. What's up, man?
Oh, how's it going, mate?
Hello.
What the hell are you doing?
How are you? Full gangsters tonight.
Yes.
It's a bit late for you, mate, isn't it?
It is very late for me.
Yeah.
But it's a special occasion.
Absolutely.
Dave, we wanted to just sing happy birthday to you because we didn't get to the other day.
Oh, man.
We got to embarrass you a little bit. So, on 3, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
Oh,
all right.
Let's get
guys. I don't know what to say. I'm getting teary-eyed.
Man, you're a great guy. We're happy you had a good birthday.
Oh, thank you, mate. I do appreciate that.
Well, of course.
Cheers.
If anybody in the chat so far or subsequently in the future, if you're not subscribed to Dave, he's nearing 500 subs.
Yes, he is.
So head over to his channel, leave a subscription.
Yeah, get on it, guys.
Yeah, and leave a like on the stream as well. Because
I can go recruit like 4, 5, like dozen people each, and you'll be good by tomorrow.
That'll be good. I love.
He's even grown to like snacks.
I'm glad everyone's on the boat. I'm glad Gareth. I'm glad Gareth. I'm still trying to work out Gareth's age because I don't think he's ever revealed it. I kind of feel he's kind of like in my ballpark, and I'm 46. So I don't know if he's a little bit older than me, but
I think Gareth is the youngest out of all of us.
He's not younger than JT. He's not younger than JT. There's no way.
My pension.
29 years old. Great. Yeah, it's still plastic surgery. He's 29 years old.
Well, you've done a great job, mate.
We just hear about that good done plastic surgery.
But
Let's just say I was
one thing
voguing back in the day.
yeah.
Oh, don't give it away, mate.
Well, we're talking 1990 there, I'd say. So I would have been 13 then, going on 14. But the one thing I would say about there's a bit of a variation in ages. JT's probably a little bit younger than
34.
Dave's a little bit younger than me, and Gareth, I'm not entirely sure whether he's the same age as me. He's a little bit older than me, a little bit younger than me. I don't know, but a bit older than me maybe. But one thing we've all got in common is we're all kind of like that. We're all the VHS video store era, right? So we all grew up at a time, in a simpler time before. We all know what life was like before the internet. I think that was one of the things. One of the things I was going to bring up, regardless of who was on tonight, but especially with Gareth being on as well. But I think one of the things I do like to reminisce about on this channel, and especially with having you guys on board tonight, is because you're obviously a similar age to me. It's just reminiscing about. I mean, Gareth, with your collection of VHS, man. I know you're sort of where I'm coming from, but
he's got a few.
The whole era of that late 80s for me anyway, late 80s, early 90s to mid to late 90s, that the whole video store era of just going there of a weekend, seeing what took your fancy, usually basing it on the video cover. If it was a big cinema release, you'd know what to make. But a lot of the time you go in there, it could be a lot of the time in those days, there was a lot of straight to video releases, and you didn't have the internet. You had to make a purchase based on the cover art, or just maybe a star you liked. I mean, just you guys, go back to what it was like growing up for you, in terms of Dave, I know obviously you're from Berco, right? So, I'm guessing you would have had plenty. You would have had plenty of VHS stores, Blockbusters around there at the time. So,
my right next to me, it was a little tiny video shop. It was actually at the top of the road. And,
bit like me.
Yeah. And he used to let me get away with murder. I mean, I used to rent horror movies when I was 6, 7 years old. I don't think I should have been able to be honest with you, but he let me do it anyway. So, God, he was letting me. I remember one video I used to rent a lot, believe it or not, when I was 6 or 7, was Vamp. Nearly every weekend, I would just grab that movie because I just loved it so much, and still do.
Which movie, sorry?
Vamp.
Oh, with Grace Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
weirdly enough, yeah. That and Big Trouble in Little China were my two movies that I would rent all the time. All the time.
Because wasn't the cover of Vamp just a close-up of Grace Jones's face? Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Gareth got the cover.
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
So
those VHS covers stick with you the rest of your life.
Yeah. So basically, just renting horror movies from the little video shop, and it's the 80s for me. That's my nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gareth, do you want to chime in?
Nope. No. I show my age. My video store was the little. I was raised in West Wales, in the middle of nowhere, so we had limited access to such things. It was most of the time it was an estate car that pulled up to the house with a trunk full of videos that you rented for a week.
God, I remember them. Yeah, yeah. We had one of them as well.
Or there was a little mum and pop shop in the town that was barely anything. But yeah, I think the three I used to rent religiously was Blade Runner, Rocky 3, and Empire Strikes Back. So that shows my age.
Perfect choice.
I was limited.
Yeah, I suppose that's because obviously JT, you're from Long Island, man. So plenty of places for you to go renting Blockbuster probably everywhere. Dave, the same. It's like, it's built up area. You can just jump into. You can just like hop on a bus into town and go to HMV. It's just like everything you want. I mean, I suppose if you do live in a more rural area, growing up, it's even more difficult to be exposed to like, a lot of the stuff that you like now. It's I had a video store at one end of the road, a video store at the other end of the road, and then obviously in about I don't know. Dave? Can you remember when the first Blockbuster opened? Like by you? I think for me it was about 91, maybe. JT, I don't know. It's probably a lot earlier for you because it's an American company, but
pretty sure it is. I don't know if it was before 1990. I'm pretty sure it was in 1990 at least.
Yeah, I think it was about 91, maybe, like where by me. I'm not sure.
I think you're probably right, Mike. I think it must have been around then in Liverpool, the first one opened.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I couldn't tell you about Birkenhead at all.
99, because I didn't move to a city.
But I just remember...
They keep burning it down every time they built it.
You wouldn't think VHS was that good.
I just remember like Blockbuster opening and like as they became more and more popular, just the decline of the normal traditional VHS stores. Just as they became more popular, they just dwindled and dwindled and dwindled. And
yeah,
I distinctly remember like the two I used to go to on a religious basis, every other week. They just dwindled. They disappeared by about 95, 96. And Blockbuster was kind of like the only game in town. I think there was another one called Star something. It was very similar to Blockbuster. It was I think it might have been a British thing.
Something like that for me too. I can't remember.
Something did try and come along and try and like compete with Blockbuster, but it was I think it was a British company and they never stood a chance basically. So
was it like Star Videos?
Star Videos. It might have been
something like that, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was something like that. Yeah. They came along. They may have been British, probably were, but they just couldn't compete with the Blockbuster, the money they had behind them, and
yeah. Do you remember how much it was in your video shop to rent a video?
If you're talking about Blockbuster, I think if I remember rightly, it was for a new release. It was about £3.
Yeah, I was talking about your local video shop at the top of your road.
Local, mate. I think go back to the 80s, probably about £2.
Yeah, it was about like £1.50, something like that.
Yeah. And that's where Gambit got the majority of his VHS collection.
Yeah, going back to the later, you probably talk about £2, £2.50 for like a new release. I can just remember, like I've said this before, but like my video store, I'm sure Dave, I'm sure yours had it as well. Yeah. You'd go in. It was very small. It was like middle center aisle to the left, aisle to the right, center aisle new releases. Aisle to the right was actually video games, like as mentioned before in Fastest Stream about old Commodore 64 games and Spectrum game. My video store used to have the old Commodore games, Commodore 64 games, and then the left aisle was kind of like it was kind of like your more exploitation films and your slasher films. But then on the top shelf, all around the shop was just like blueies, like all your porno films.
Except they were heavily edited in the UK.
Yeah.
Were you tall enough to reach the top shelf?
I wasn't tall enough.
In the UK is they undress and it ends. The end of the like a movie.
Yeah. And then we all clap at the end.
It was like the beginning of Halloween '78. He went in, he went out.
Yeah. Those are the edited versions.
Lauren says, Warner Chappell owned the music to Happy Birthday, so prepare for a copyright strike. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, no, it's typical. It's my birthday, Warner. Leave me alone. Let me have it.
Nothing would surprise me.
No.
Nothing would surprise me. Ben says, I worked at Blockbuster. I remember one movie that was a surprise big rent. It was Carnosaur. It was always checked out.
Really?
Yeah. I've never even seen that film.
It's a Jurassic Park, didn't they?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it yet. I want to watch that, actually.
Yeah. Big T says, anyone seen the new Blockbuster show on Netflix? I've not seen it yet. I do need to check that out, actually. I want to go to the last of a Blockbuster in Oregon. It's in a place called Bend, Oregon. It's the final Blockbuster on Earth.
I didn't even know there was any left.
Yeah, there's one left. So it's under private ownership, I'm assuming. They just sold all the rights to just this one guy, I'm assuming, because Blockbuster, the old Blockbuster's gone, obviously, but I'm assuming that they just allowed one guy to just like take on the rights to the name and that, and just keep running it, because
the only franchise left.
Yeah.
That last one.
I love that episode of South Park. Have you ever seen the episode of South Park where he buys the Blockbuster store and he doesn't realize that like nobody rents videos anymore? It's like it's haunted by ghosts. It's so good.
Yeah, his whole family wanted to get the hell out of here. Went crazy, like he was Jack Torrance. It's like Jack killing his family.
Yeah, the kids are just watching shows on Netflix on the iPad. And he's like our age, and he can't grasp the concept that like people don't like just rent videos anymore.
I understand how he feels.
Yeah.
I love the old show. I've been watching that since the day it premiered. 5 years ago. Jeez.
Yeah.
I wonder how well that store's doing. It must be doing well if he can still keep it going.
I think a lot of it is not. I
haven't seen a big dip in quality at all.
No.
Which is something, especially like with The Simpsons, how bad that got, and still is.
Yeah, definitely.
Why they keep that show going?
I have no idea why The Simpsons are still on TV. To be honest with you, I have no idea at all.
Once Groening and the other original writers left, it's been terrible.
I haven't watched The Simpsons for a long time. Got to be honest.
Yeah, no right.
Yeah. Treehouse of Horror episodes, I'll watch those every once in a while. Like
Yeah.
Later this month. That's the only time I ever watch The Simpsons.
Yeah.
I was watching Vass's stream earlier on. You know the horror years, the greatest horror years in '82, and I did chime in with a few mentions. Well, in terms of what they were talking about, but I was a little bit disturbed to find that like. In a previous stream they did the previous year, that like 1991 over 1981, and I was kind of a little bit like, what? But when they sort of like started reeling off the movies, I was like, you know what? It was more quality than quantity. 1981 had a lot of like shit, which I loved as a kid. But
who was in the Mouth of Madness? Was that 91 or 94?
I think it was 94, 95 maybe.
Yeah, it's
1990.
Oh, it's bothered.
But yeah, in terms of
I
think it was 95 in the or I could be wrong. It was 94, 95 in the Mouth of Madness.
Do you know what? I'm going to cheat and look it up. Hang on. In the Mouth of Madness. Let's see. I think it's probably about 92, 93, I think it's probably a little bit earlier than what we
could be.
Early 90s.
Yeah, maybe it is 92.
That's in my top 3.
I'm trying to think what he was doing. He had a bit of a gap between They Live and.
Who said 94?
Village of the Damned.
The Prince of Darkness, late 80s.
Yeah. 1994 was in the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw that.
What was that movie he did with children? Village of the Damned? Was that like
Village of the Damned? Yeah. But it's a
so it was like 95, 96, was it?
I'll look that up as well. I haven't seen that one actually. Is it any good?
Cool reboot of his.
That's 1995.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not. The only Carpenter film I've not seen is The Ward. I've never ever.
No, I haven't seen that myself.
I saw it a while back when it came out, and I don't remember.
Yeah,
anything.
I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah.
There was a girl in an asylum at night working, and that was it.
Is that the one with Amber Heard in it?
Yeah,
it is,
maybe.
Isn't it?
I don't want to mention her name. She'll sue the shit out of you.
Sue me for what?
That name's blocked from my fucking mouth from now on.
But yeah, that Village in the Damned's only got 30% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Listen,
well received.
Is that the feedback from the reviewers or the actual,
No,
critics themselves?
No, it was just the critics one that I saw.
The critics one. Don't take any notice as the critics because they tend to talk shite.
Yeah, they might be right on that one.
Yeah, critics now on Rotten Tomatoes, if it's got an agenda, they'll give it a good score.
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever's 97% apparently, so greatest movie of all time.
I haven't seen it. Has anyone seen that? Yeah.
No, I'm going to watch it on Tuesday. So.
Oh yeah, you have to let us know
I'll watch
what
it when it comes out on
streaming. There's a massive gap now between what Rotten Tomatoes critics think and what the general public think, and a lot of the time they just we'll give this a good score because reasons, and then the general public go, no, actually this is good, or this is actually shit, and it's happened so many times with these films. I think Captain Marvel, which was fucking garbage.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah, that got rave reviews because
DCU fan.
Marvel were pushing this as like, oh well, this is a movie with like a female lead in a superhero movie, totally ignoring the fact that Wonder Woman had done it 2 years previously, and Wonder Woman was actually a decent movie.
It was,
but Marvel want to be we're leaders of like pushing, we're putting women front and center. Where no one's doing this, like nobody's done this before. Black Panther's the first. They did it with Black Panther. They tried to like make out that Black Panther was the first superhero movie with a black lead. Totally
forget about Blade like
25 years previously.
Yeah, I know.
Meet your man.
Exactly.
Meet your man. Yeah.
And then they forget about what was the one that Jack was in? Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I was trying to think of Shaq. Steel or something.
That was it. That was better than Captain Marvel.
And then
I'm not
Barbed Wire was the first female superhero, wasn't it?
Mm.
Well, yeah, you could say that.
But there's also, go back to the critics and audience score. Like the Black Adam one, there's a massive difference in that one as well, isn't there? Like the critics hate it, but people that went to watch it love it.
Yeah.
But I know two friends of mine that went to watch Black Adam, and they absolutely fucking hate it. So
I don't know what to think from that one.
A lot of times when they release movies and stuff, they'll have hundreds of people that work for them or friends of people who work for the studios and stuff go on and give good reviews for everything.
Yeah, I could imagine.
We do that all the time. I used to run a restaurant, hotel, bar, upstate New York. We used to tell people to do the same shit. We used to be like, on this review site, just say, it's fucking delicious food and all that. It was, but just to get it up there, like they do. Every company does that for the most part.
Yeah, just mention me as well. Just say how good I was.
yeah, and don't forget, say that the manager's great.
Yeah.
Give you a free coffee.
What was that? Captain Marvel should be banned in all 50 states.
And the 51st.
Yeah. Yeah, I really didn't like that Captain Marvel movie. I thought it was terrible.
That's because you're a sexist pig.
That's right, mate.
Come on, mate. Yeah, we need to get this misogynist off the stream.
Thank you, Gareth. You're making me look good.
I don't know what they're expecting from four middle-aged guys. I mean, really, who are setting the ways.
But I love Wonder Woman. So
Wonder Woman's a great fucking movie as well.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
And
the
plus
sequel, not so much.
Yeah, and Gal Gadot's way hotter than fucking Brie Larson as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
if I had the choice,
Gal Gadot's a 10. Brie Larson's a like a 6.
Left your male gaze.
We got Jim. We got
Hey Jim.
What's up, man?
Me fellow Isle Man buddy.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. There's only you two men on the island, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just us. That's it.
They just chill. They got a whole island to themselves.
It's like the Wicker Man over here.
You could start like that whole scan that they did in the movie. You got the island itself. You got two people. Just start bringing people over there.
Perfect. But we're gonna do the Nicolas Cage version.
Yeah.
Not the bees. Ah!
Yeah, right there.
What was it like? Hey, Dave.
I'm not a Nicolas Cage fan.
Yeah, go on, man.
So what was it like? What was it like? Because obviously you're on an actual island. What was it? During like COVID lockdown.
Yeah.
Was it just like anybody who turned up at the island was just like guns pointed at them. You need to get tested. It's like obviously you would have been clean, right? You would have been clear.
We were when it first happened, when we went into lockdown the first time, the island literally closed. You couldn't, no one could get on and no one could get off. Basically, they just shut it off completely. So when it first hit, we were locked down for about 3 months, and then we had no COVID cases for about a good 8 or 9 months after that. So we were living like a normal life, pretty much.
Yeah.
You just couldn't get off the island at all. It was literally like Alcatraz. You were a prisoner, basically. But we could live a normal life. So we didn't have it as bad as like what you guys had it, to be honest.
Yeah, it was weird because I don't know. I can't speak for JT. Like, obviously, I know New York, you were pretty fucking tough there, man.
It was
Like, yeah, it was pretty totalitarian up there, man. But like, I remember Gareth and Dave, you'll especially Gareth will know this. Do you remember the whole like during the early days of lockdown, like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, whatever it was? I remember like in Liverpool, we got put into like tier 3 where we couldn't do anything. But like in Cornwall, because it was like more rural, they were in like so there's people on like TikTok and like YouTube and Facebook. They were like in pubs and bars just having drinks, like all with all the friends having a good time. And posting it on the internet. And then there's us in tier 3 or tier 4, whatever we couldn't even fucking leave the house. It's just like,
like move or try to have fun.
And then it was like, and then they were all gloating about it. And then,
that's not good.
A month later, they're in tier 3. And then we're in tier 2. So then we've got more freedoms than it's like, it was so
you got promoted.
Yeah, we got promoted. It was like, it was so stupid. It was like,
it was ridiculous, man.
Crazy times, man.
When I look back on it all, I just think just how ridiculous everything was.
It was
you know what I mean? It was just stupid. A joke. Yeah.
How badly everything was handled too. Just in general, everywhere.
Absolutely. It was like over here on the island when we were in lockdown, it was a really tough lockdown. Yeah. Like at first, when it first started, they literally only wanted you out like an hour a day and that was it. I'm not even kidding.
It sounds more and more like prison the more we talk about it, Like, 1 hour a day out in the field.
Yeah. And if you went around to your mate's house for a cup of tea or whatever, there was a fucking SWAT team that turned up outside. It was madness, man. Absolute madness. But like I said, we had it easier than a lot of places. But then Christmas happened, and then somehow COVID came back to the island. So then we went into lockdown in the new year for a month. Came out of that. And then had another month, and then got COVID again. Then went into lockdown again. It was like, fucking hell, man.
It's just how it keeps just coming back, and it's gone for. It's like a vampire. You got to invite it in.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. No, I'm just thankful it's all friggin' finished and done for now. You know what I mean?
Touch wood.
Yeah.
Famous last words.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say till like this big badass strand of it comes. It's like, oh, that's just my little cousin, COVID. I'm like, now you gotta deal with it. We got tier 18s and shit that we gotta deal with. I'm not
something above the rage virus.
Oh, imagine if it was the rage virus. Lockdown wouldn't have helped, would it?
I was gonna say, like, like Dave, keeping with the Isle of Man, like how many people have died from COVID in the Isle of Man over the last 40 years? How many people have died from the Isle of Man TT races every year? They don't ban that, do they? They don't like it.
No. There's some people that are trying to ban the racing, which I don't. At the end of the day, the races, they know how dangerous it is. I mean, it's what they sign up for, But yeah, it is sad when it happens. I mean, it's not nice when you hear news of the riders passing away and stuff over TT.
Isn't it like 3 a year die or something? Like on average, it's every year.
That's if you're lucky. Sometimes it's been about like 6 or 7. Sometimes they've had some bad years, But unfortunately, it happens every year. I don't think there's ever been a TT race where there hasn't been a death. To be honest with you, it's quite sad, really.
That's good. That's pretty good to not have a death still. It had to. The hardest thing probably would be on an island during all that is like how bad was like having things like supplies and food and all that has to come to the island.
Yeah, well, fortunately enough, that was still happening. So that didn't change basically. So we were quite lucky, to be fair. Like I said, considering everyone else. Yeah,
New York was insane.
I know.
New York City still like, and it's been mad long after like it really stopped being serious. You didn't want to go to Manhattan.
No.
Like during any of that time, it was open game. Like people were getting shot, like 16 people a day, and stuff like insanity. And like like pretty normal for New York City, but not in a day. Like that many people getting killed and shit for no reason. Just people looting. It was like
sounds like Escape from New York instead.
Yeah, it's pretty much. It was a complete war zone in New York City. I haven't been to Manhattan actually since COVID started. Plan on going. I'm damn sure all those people are gone. Those lunatics.
I've got this bizarre fetish for like old New York from like the 70s and 80s, just like how grimy and disgusting it was. I watched if you go on YouTube, you can find like old VHS clips. There's a really, really good one, and it's just like it's got like millions of views. A lot of people have watched it. It's just like it's like a train ride, like a subway ride from like Manhattan to like Staten Island, and it's just like, you know, a kid with no top on, just like a kid in like a pair of shorts with no top on, just riding the subway with like his mum and his like brother, and he's just lying across like, you know, the seats and all that, and all the comments are basically saying the kid probably caught HIV. It's just when this is like 80. I think this is like 87. So 87, like New York. You can imagine like it's just graffiti everywhere. It's just like
beautiful.
There still is graffiti everywhere.
Yeah, but they have cleaned it up a fair bit, though, haven't they?
That should be the slogan: "Come to New York, get HIV."
Yeah. But it's just
New York, New York.
But it almost feels like an alter. You could put the music from Jason Takes Manhattan over this video footage. You know, like the opening of Jason Takes Manhattan with like just that.
Why did you have to mention that movie?
We love that movie.
It still hits me now.
The thing I do like about that movie, and like William Lustig's Maniac from 1980, is getting to see Manhattan like that before they came to the city up, and just seeing like burning barrels all over the place, and just like homeless people all over the place. It's pretty much the same today, but it's like you don't see it out in the open anymore.
I need to go. You've talked me into going.
You brought up the movie. I'm just talking about Manhattan.
You can just head west from where you are, just swim.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the only good thing about Jason Takes Manhattan was the music. Everything else is shocking in that movie. Shocking.
Really is decent. Most of them, Harry Manfredini is great with everything he does, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like House movies, the first two House movies. I don't know if he scored the ones after that.
Yeah, that was another one. Going back to like renting the movie, I forgot about that one. Was House, the first House movie? I rented that pretty much all the time as well.
Yeah, second story, I think I like even
one of my favorite posters.
Yeah,
no,
absolutely. Yeah, that was the thing, because that's what enticed me originally about the House movie was the cover, just with the finger at the doorbell. Yeah, and then the second story didn't have the hand doing this.
No, make like a whole bunch more sequels, but like in Italy and like in like some other countries, and just tried linking it to the House series.
Because I'm pretty sure House 3 was originally just called The Horror Show in America, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and it was only House 3 in Europe, wasn't it?
And then they put House 3 in front of it.
Yeah. Oh, it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen as well. House 3, I hate it. Yeah.
I always remember Return of the Living Dead Part 3, the poster for that, when that dropped in video stores. I always remember because it was the girl, you know, the front, you know, obviously the girl who turned.
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
Sexy zombies.
Yeah.
I've got that on my list to do. It's the third one. I've done part 1 and part 2, but I haven't read part 3 yet. I've never seen it.
It's not great.
Yeah,
it's not great.
There it is. I remember. Remember that in the video shop. Yeah.
I'll never forget
91.
For Peter Jackson's Dead Alive.
Yeah. See, that was called Brain. That was called Brain Dead. That was called Brain Dead in the UK.
Yeah,
Always
it was
confused.
Dead Alive in the video in Blockbuster and stuff here.
Yeah.
Brain Doll. What a movie that was.
It's one of my favorite, like zombie, zombie movie of all time.
Yeah,
I
remember watching
go.
that for the first time when I was like 11, 12 years old, and I just couldn't believe what the hell I was watching. I actually think it made me physically sick when I first watched it.
Yeah, it will. Like,
that pus stuff.
I would love to see him, Jackson, after all his movies, all the money he made from doing Lord of the Rings and all that, return to horror film like that movie, like Brain Dead and Bad Taste and stuff.
Yeah, Bad Taste is a good
CGI, all practical, with all his money and fame. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
It is weird that he did, because it's a bit like James Cameron did Piranha 2 before Terminator. It's just like they've got that on the resume. It's like you've got all these like iconic movies, and then it's what? Sorry,
he got sacked.
Did
he? He only worked for 2 weeks on it, but then he got sacked.
So it's not his film then?
No, it's only called that since he became famous because he worked on it.
Okay.
Now it's called James Cameron's Piranha 2.
Yeah.
They do that a lot. Like with Intruder, the slasher from '89, Bruce Campbell has like a 30-second appearance. Like less than 30.
He's got top billing, hasn't he?
Now that when they say it, Intruder, Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi and Ted are in it, but they as characters, they're in it a bit, but they're not like main characters.
I only
on the box for it.
I only watched Intruder for the first time last year, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't even know it was a thing.
Kill in a slasher film, like ever. Awesome.
Yeah,
it was good.
The poster's even gory. Head that's twisted, cut in half and twisted sideways.
Yeah, that's the killer.
Well, I never realized when I first watched it. I watched like a rated version of it, so it was a little bit cut in parts.
That movie would be way
but then there was a full version actually on YouTube, I think. So then I watched the uncut version of it, which was miles better, obviously.
Oh, it's so good. I don't know why they even bother cutting films like that.
There's no point.
If you're a slasher fan, or you're a horror fan, I can see if you're a horror fan, you don't like slasher movies. You don't like seeing like gore and stuff like that. Yeah. But if you're a slasher fan, I don't get
to see the meat. Absolutely, man.
Have no kills in it.
I want to see the meat and potatoes of everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They used Quentin Tarantino's name a lot. I think when Hostel dropped. Hostel, it was like Quentin Tarantino presents.
Him and
it was like, people would just see in the video store, people just see Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
And just like, okay.
I think he did direct like a scene in that movie though as well. I think he did do something. I could have just made that up though.
Yeah.
But I think
there was a lot of
There's like a 4-hour video, audio, it's only audio of him, Tarantino and Roth talking horror movies for like 4 hours straight on YouTube.
Oh, I'd happily listen. Yeah. What did you think of Hostel? Did you guys like it?
I don't, it's not a film I'll throw on too often, but I like it. I don't mind
I didn't mind it. It was better than what I thought it was going to be.
I've not seen the Las Vegas one. I don't want to see that either.
Do you know what, Mike? I'll be honest with you. I was exactly the same as you. I ended up liking the third one. To be fair.
Yeah. I'll give it a chance.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's better than the second one for me personally, Mike.
Yeah, the second one was all right. I remember the kids playing soccer at the end with the person's head. That's hysterical.
Yeah,
That's the thing I love about Roth is he has a great sense of humor. Like that,
it was the part where she cut his cock and balls off. I had to turn it off from there. I couldn't watch it anymore. I was like, I'm done now. That's it.
With Ellen Page and
too woke for you, was it?
Wilson. That scene fucking kills you. Just knowing, like, think of what she's about to do.
Yeah, I just crossed my legs and turned the TV off.
Yeah. It's like, all right, that's it for tonight and the rest of the time with this movie.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a castration scene I liked.
No, weirdly enough, no.
Never once.
No, doesn't tickle my pickle, as they say. No. I'm not into that.
Until you tried
it. Don't even want to try it, mate.
There's always the castration scene.
On the rainbow, nailed to the chair.
Have you anybody seen Ma? May?
No.
Wait, May?
Oh, Ma.
Ma. You know, it's one with like the African American woman who's like she's friends with all the young kids in the neighborhood. She buys them drinks. Yeah. Luke Evans is in it. You know, the Welsh guy. He plays like there's nearly a castration scene in that film where she's threatening to chop his I'm
not watching it then.
John Thomas.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, but it gets close. But
yeah,
I don't know what role he's playing next. Luke Evans, he is a fucking machine. That guy, he is just in like I don't know what he's must be on steroids. He is like absolute machine. He's giant. I don't know what role he's playing next, but he must be doing something physical because he was on the Jonathan Ross show, and he is just fucking enormous. So I don't know what he's doing, but he's playing something. He's playing a big guy. I know that much.
Yeah, I watched the film not long ago.
He still play a good role.
Yeah, I watched the film not long ago, a horror one. I think it's called No One Lives, something like that. He plays a bad guy in it, but he's like an anti-hero or something.
Yeah, I saw No One Lives.
And I never realised it was a WWE production, and a lot of their films are shockingly bad.
Maybe that's what he's been doing.
Yeah, but that one was actually all right.
Except for that one wasn't that bad, though.
Yeah, it was all right, yeah.
Maybe he's just coming off that role. I don't know. Because I know Zac Efron's just, he's doing a new movie. He's playing an 80s wrestler. Yeah. And he's been hitting the old juice in a big way because he's
working out.
No,
he's it's all natural. Yeah, he's
like
just like Chris Hemsworth, just like all the other guys. Hugh Jackman. It's all perfectly natural.
Isn't Chris Hemsworth supposed to be playing Hulk Hogan in the movie?
Yeah. That's how you know he's taken. That's how you know he's taken. Because if you're going to replicate
for about 3 years, hasn't he?
Well, if you're going to replicate a guy who was taking a large amount of steroids, how are you going to recreate that body without taking a large amount of steroids?
Yeah, right.
Because Chris Hemsworth's natural physique is not built to get that big. So he is taking. Have you ever seen Chris Hemsworth's legs?
Hell of a career.
When he was 4, upper body, legs like little pigeons.
But he started young with those roids.
Yeah.
What are you doing in there? Mom, I'm trying. Leave me alone. I'm reading. It's like 7 years old. All one day. Now he has an amazing career. Though even though I don't care for the whole superhero shit. Like Cabin of the Woods.
Yeah,
right in that. And I remember him from a few before that.
Yeah, I quite like him, man. I think he's a good actor. To be fair,
no, he's
a lot better than Liam. Liam Hemsworth is going to be the new Witcher. The guy can't act to save his life. So
I haven't seen anything I like him.
No,
he was in Triangle.
Yeah, Triangle.
Was he in Triangle?
Yeah, that was a good movie actually. I quite like that. But
yeah, was that the one with Melissa George in?
Yeah. It was like an Aussie thing, I think.
I have seen that, but I don't remember much about it.
It was good. It had like a really interesting premise to it. It's kind of like kept you guessing.
It's on a boat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
But he can't act.
Liam, look, listen, mate. When you're the worst actor in an Expendables movie, you know you're bad.
Facing off against Van Damme. Couldn't take it.
Yeah. Who was fantastic in that film, by the way. He was great as the bad guy in that Expendables too.
Van Damme.
The lad.
Yeah, I love Van Damme.
I love Van Damme as well. He's such a knob, but I love him.
I remember watching Street Fighter, the movie, when I was like 4 or 5 years old. And just loving the movie back then. I watched it 2 years ago for the first time, like since like pretty much childhood. God, that movie's so bad.
Mate, I went to the cinema. I paid money to watch that.
It's advertised from the writer of Die Hard, so what could go wrong?
Well, that's what enticed me.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, even though Street Fighter was the more popular video game, Mortal Kombat was kind of like Mortal Kombat was more the edgier, more dangerous.
Yeah.
It was more, and it kind of worked that way with the movie because Mortal Kombat the movie was just way cooler.
Yeah,
it was a better, cooler film. And Mortal Kombat is cheesy as hell, but the music, just the action is so much better than Street Fighter.
Oh, that Mortal Kombat music at the start of that movie just gets you. Yeah. Absolutely.
The second one,
I was-
the animation was absolutely abysmal.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
I went-
atrociously bad.
I
Some of
went
the
to
worst
the cinema to
dialogue.
watch that as well.
It's fun just to
miss
watch how terrible it is, and to see like
This-
if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, which I was growing up, just to see all the other characters they threw in there that they didn't have in the first one. It's cool, basically just for that.
It's
There's
awful.
there's a scene which is like, kind of like a meme now in the second one where it's like I can't remember the character's name. She goes, "Mother, you're alive," and then she goes, "Too bad, you will die." And I was like, "Oh my god!"
It's like
And the
one of
Oscar goes to.
on definitely.
exactly.
And the
Yeah.
way it's delivered to it's
So
terrible.
bad.
It's
Still
awful.
better than Lion.
You type in like Mortal Kombat, not even like maybe like worst lines in movies, like you'll find it. It'll come up.
But I will say this: it's still better than the Street Fighter movie.
I would agree. Yeah.
I would, maybe,
Okay.
probably just for the action alone. Even though like the CGI looks terrible and all that,
Oh,
just for
it's
that.
so
Kylie.
bad. Kylie. She's doing a good, she's doing a good thing about the
Street Fighter again
movie.
as an adult really ruined my childhood, like memories of that movie. That movie was like 4 or 5 years.
But I was definitely more of a Mortal Kombat fan than Street Fighter.
I always was. And here I know in the UK, but here in the States, Mortal Kombat pretty much became the most popular fighting game. Like,
Same.
it overtook
Same
Street
in the
Fighter.
UK.
Like
Yeah.
maybe about like 94 or 95.
Yeah.
You didn't hear Street Fighter anymore because Street Fighter stayed on the second game for like 10 years
Yeah.
and just kept putting out like new versions of it. And
It
Mortal
was that
Kombat.
damn good though. I just remember going to the arcades back in like
Yeah.
91, 92 when Street Fighter 2 dropped,
Yeah.
and it was just like queuing to get on, and like
Yeah.
just because they'd have like one machine, and it was just like there'd always be people on there, and you'd have to wait your turn because it was just so popular.
Who was your go-to character?
And shit. They still do. it.
I used to go Ken because I was always trying to just get that dragon punch, or even arrive just for the dragon punch, because I could never do the hardest move in that game for me, even when I got it on the Super Nintendo, was the Zangief doing a spin and pile driver.
Oh,
never
yes.
do that, never do that move.
Down back kick. Down back high kick. I think.
Yeah,
I always went Bison for some reason. Don't know why. I just like the bad boys. I think.
I always like Vega. The one with the
Yeah.
mask and the fucking blade. I always thought.
Oh, yeah.
Blades.
Masks,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
I
can
don't
jump
know how
on-
how you
can
jump on the
jump-
fence and then jump.
Yeah, on the fence.
How-
Yeah. That's why I
How the
love
fuck
that.
do you do that? I was like, I can't do that.
Well, it didn't do anything like really that.
Yeah.
That like
The
See,
worst,
you
the
in
worst
fight.
ones was trying to do finishing moves on Mortal Kombat. They were the hardest ones.
Yeah, the fatalities. Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's a million fucking buttons you got to remember, and you remember 3 of them the first time. You're like, damn it, what was the 4th one? And then time's up, you're done. So you got to try.
I was a
every time.
button masher. I was just like
Yeah.
bashing the fucking like whatever the fucking works. I'll just like
Yeah.
At least the
It should
later
just-
ones, they
It
put
should
them
have just been one button. Just one button, finish him right. Done.
They
X,
did that
finish.
by like robbing everybody for Mortal Kombat 9 and 2. That if you want one button fatalities, you pay like $2.99 or some shit, and you get like a certain amount of them. So
Yeah.
it's like if you want them, remember all that. You buy it for $3, you just push one button.
that would be a microtransaction in 2022. You know, if you want
Absolutely.
to finish a move, you got to pay like $5 or £5 or some
Yeah, if
shit.
you don't want to input
I'd do it.
Too many buttons for them.
Yeah. Orc mentions
Read a
mentions
book.
Tekken.
I-
Yeah, I like
I'm
Tekken.
gonna
Tekken
fucking-
was just good as well.
They want Tekken
I
first,
was
you know?
never a big fan of Tekken. I didn't
I'm
even
gonna-
play that one.
First 2 are great. After that, I kind of stopped with them.
It was a
So
lot
what
more
did you
So I
fun.
guys-
bid you good night. See you later.
Oh, say Gareth.
Thanks,
man.
yeah.
See
Thank
you later,
for coming
Gareth.
on, man.
Take care, mate.
Take
Thanks
care.
for having you on.
Have fun. Happy birthday again. Bye.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very
See you,
much.
man.
So, what did you guys think of
We'll be
the
listening.
new Mortal Kombat movie that came out last year?
I actually I didn't see it yet.
You haven't seen it yet,
Still on my list, yeah.
No, I've not seen it either.
haven't you?
No.
It's
Still
you know
not
what?
seen
It's actually it's not
I'll
bad.
always watch. Like if the new Mortal Kombat something comes out, I'll watch it like all the time.
Yeah.
'Cause I play the game still a lot. So
Yeah, I thought it was good. I actually thought it was all right. To be fair,
yeah, I'll check it out.
So,
It's
yeah.
been on the list. Now it just jumped up a bit.
The trailer
Yeah.
looked great, but the trailer dropped and it got really positive reviews. And then the film dropped
yeah,
and it was getting like the reviews weren't that solid.
Yeah.
So
it
I
was
just
quite
kinda
it was
like,
quite mixed. Yeah,
yeah. So
And I
I
can-
remember hearing that it was mixed between people because I heard people that really liked it. I heard people thought it sucked.
Yeah.
which is
Whereas-
like 99% of movies nowadays.
Yeah. Whereas, like I said, I watched it, and I must admit, I was pleasantly surprised by it. It was actually up the better scale for me. So,
Did you watch the trailer or anything before that?
yeah, it did. It got me pumped for the movie.
I always
It
ask
really
that
did.
people because I wonder, because I never watched trailers really, and I
Yeah.
like going completely blind. I always wonder how much that affects like certain kinds of movies.
Yeah.
And I'm
It's
glad
a-
you loved X.
It is a tough one, trailers though, because like on one hand it can put you off, or you can see too much. But then there's movies where I've watched a trailer, and if I'd not watched a trailer, I would never have even known the film existed.
Yeah, good point.
So it's kind of like it's like a double-edged sword, because like
Yeah.
if
Yes,
a
I
movie's
rem-
dropping,
You
you know
watch
you're gonna like.
the trailer to find out about the movie
Yeah.
but then
But-
you
But
find
then
out
they
what
they
trailer-
reveal too much, though. They reveal too much, don't they? So
Yeah.
a lot of
I
trailers
rem-
reveal way too much about the film, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake! I don't.
I
really wanna watch
remember
it.
watching the
film.
trailer to Dread. You know, Dread, the Carl Urban one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I watched the trailer to that, and that trailer is bad. If you ever go back and rewatch the trailer to that movie, it's terrible. But then you watch the film, and it's one of my favorite movies. So
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah,
It was
some
the
good
opposite
movies
thing.
Have
yeah,
terrible trailers that ruin
got-
a lot of stuff.
It
But I
got bad.
You know, be like, yeah, watch it. Do not watch the trailer. Like, by any means, it'll ruin it.
yeah,
I forgot if it wasn't Orphan, but it was the same. It was a Case 39, maybe the same year. Another little possessed child movie. They ruined that whole movie with the trailer. Like, it was
really.
awful with that. Good movie though.
Yeah. Did they give it away or anything, or was it just like
Pretty
back
much like it's supposed to like when you go into it, you're thinking there's something fucked up with these parents. Then they
Yeah.
kind of just show like exactly what's really going on, and you lose that whole like kind of not even a twist, but like initial like thoughts while you're going of what you think is happening. Completely wiped out if you watch the trailer. So it like ruins that whole like beginning part. So
It's like with
definitely-
the. I remember one of the Terminator trailers where they literally showed John Connor as the bad guy in the trailer, and you're like, and then when you watch the
that was
movie,
bad.
yeah, and then when you
That
watch
was
the
bad.
movie, it's such a surprise.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a surprise because you've seen it in the fucking trailer, but in the movie, it's done as like a surprise, like a shock. You're not expecting it. You're like,
exactly.
you've already
That's how
fucking
the same
shown us
thing.
that.
That,
It's like
that,
no, it's him. It's him. Like I saw
that was that,
in the
that was
trailer.
one of the biggest mistakes I think I've ever seen in a trade. That was
That
ridiculous.
was it.
Absolutely, it wouldn't have saved the film anyway. I still thought the film was crap, but like, you know,
No, it's bad.
I mean, I thought Dark Fate was better than Genesis.
I haven't seen Dark Fate yet, mate. I just
not-
I've
it's
stayed
not-
away from it.
It's not great, but if you can buy Arnie as somebody who fits curtains, is it?
I'm out.
He
No.
basically retires as a Terminator and like lives a normal life.
Oh yeah.
So he's got a
That's
job.
pretty
He's got a
interesting,
job like he's just got a job. Okay.
Doesn't John Connor as a kid get killed at the beginning?
Yeah, and the CGI looks amazing as well.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
Every now and
It
then.
looks. I mean, he looks like Edward Furlong as like a 12-year-old kid, 13-year-old kid. Gets just wasted. Gets blown out. Just shot dead in like a bar or a cafe at the beginning of the movie. It's like so they've taken
Spoiler
well, yeah. It's
Yeah.
been out for years.
After
doesn't matter.
Everything that we love about the first two films, it's basically saying, well, no, forget that. We've got this new movie now. So any attachment you had to the first two films now, it's about this new character now. So fuck John Connor. You know, it's just like it's so bad. So
And I'm
bad.
sorry, but the first two were just you don't do that. You don't wipe that
no,
away.
no,
from
no,
them,
no,
like,
no.
You just
No,
don't.
not exactly. Why do you
I
think none except Season of the Witch, which is its own thing? Why do you think none of the Halloween timelines ignore John Carpenter's? It's in
Yeah.
every one of them. Like
Yeah.
you don't wipe away John Carpenter's Halloween from a Halloween sequel.
Yeah,
Never happens.
true. Let's not talk about
Very good.
Halloween. I'm still sore from Halloween.
I know. Like zombies.
Yeah, I forgot your. Yeah, we won't go into.
I'm done with Myers for now.
We won't go into ends too much.
No.
But
You know, the more I think about that movie, the more it pisses me off. Honestly.
I just find
You need
the
a
defense.
Bible,
I just find that like the defense of this film
Oh.
from these like hardcore like Halloween fans who are
I don't
desperate
get
to
it.
cling on to this movie as being some sort of like fantastic, you know. Oh, it's
Yeah.
the second best movie of the franchise.
No.
I'm like,
No.
And I use the term
Based on
hardcore
what are you
Halloween
basing it
fans
on?
very loosely.
Yeah.
when it comes-
What are you basing this on?
I don't get it, mate. But like I say, I always say, obviously, film's subjective and everyone's opinions. But I do. And if you like the movie, great. But it is one of them instances where I truly do not see where they're coming from with it. I just don't see it.
Like there's certain movies, it's that same thing. I say it all the time on my channel too. If you like this movie, 100%, you're entitled and stuff. I'm happy.
You know that story, Dave. I don't know if this. You know that story. I don't know if it translates to America. I'm not sure, but Dave, The Emperor's New Clothes. I'm sure JT knows it.
Yeah.
So it's like the guy. They haven't like made a robe for them or whatever it is, and he's just walking through the town with nothing on, and they're all too polite to say, "You're not wearing any clothes, mate." It almost feels like with Halloween Ends, it's almost like some people are just too polite to just say, "This film's fucking dog shit."
It's just like a bad idea. I just don't get what they were. I just don't understand what the thought process behind it was.
No. What really blew my mind? Carpenter came out and said he loved it.
Yeah, Carpenter's just taking a paycheck. Somebody's giving Carpenter a shitload of weed, and he said, "Oh God, just give me that. I'll smoke that. I'll just say it's great." You know what I mean?
It's great.
He doesn't give a fuck, man. As long as he's getting his weed, he doesn't care.
Yeah, but the way they marketed it as well, like they knew, like they sold us a false product in my eyes, because that's not the movie I was walking into.
No, it's similar to Jeepers Creepers 3 when that came out, and they only put it in theaters for like a day or a weekend or something, and then they like added an extra weekend because they knew that they had a horrible, atrocious movie, and they're like, hey, we're going to recoup some costs on this. All right, we'll have a special screening event all over the place for like one weekend, and we'll try to make back whatever the hell we can. And that's what they did, and that's what they do with Reborn too. That wasn't.
I've heard some really bad things about the new one.
You're correct things then.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
So bad.
I need to watch Reborn.
I'm just gonna
see how bad it is.
Like, I'm not going to rant about what ends. I'll just say one more thing, and I've said it. I've said it once. I've said it twice. I'll say it again.
Crack on, mate.
Laurie.
Yeah, we have talked about
Laurie. Yeah, I know, but we're not. I think he'll agree anyway because he. But like Laurie, so 2018, she had the bad experience in 1978. Okay.
Oh, I know.
It was a very, very bad experience. Very bad experience. She had Michael was caught, sent to a lunatic asylum. He's been in ever since. She's had a child. She's got a grandchild. She's moved on with her life. But for some reason, she's got PTSD 40 years later. Michael's fucking locked away in a nut house. He's never escaped. There's nothing supernatural about him because he got caught on the night of the attack.
Yeah.
She's suffering PTSD. 3 or 4 years later, he's escaped. He's murdered a bunch of people. He's murdered her own daughter.
Yep.
But she's fucking happy as Larry. Oh yeah. It's life's good. Yeah, come on. It's like, what the fuck, man?
That's one good thing I gave H2O when I did a video on that, because I never cared for H2O, but they portray Laurie's trauma in that so much better.
Yeah,
her seeing Michael and like
holding things. She's holding things together. She's got a bit of a drink problem, but she's not completely crazy.
Yeah, but you could see how it still haunts her all the time. They did so well with that in that movie.
Yeah. It's not the perfect film, but the way they portray in that film is far better than this piece of shit.
Without a doubt.
I must admit, I think H2O holds up a little bit though. Like I've rewatched it a few times going back to it, and I've grown to appreciate it a lot more over the years than what I did when I first watched it originally.
Yeah, that's weird because mine was the opposite. I liked it more when I first saw it because that was like the first Halloween that I saw in the theaters, and
yeah, me too.
Then every rewatch kind of since, it kind of just gets a little lower for me. A lot of it has to do with Kevin Williamson, who wrote Scream and stuff, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, having a lot to do with the rewrites and stuff like that. Because I'm not a Scream fan, and I'm not a fan of any of the movies that it brought in. You could feel him and like Scream kind of all over H2O, and that brings it for me a lot.
Yeah,
he was kind of like hot property, wasn't he, back then?
He was, yeah.
He was like hot property then. He was like you did there. Wasn't he involved in like Dawson's? Was he involved in Dawson's Creek as well?
Yes.
He was kind of involved in everything in the late 90s.
All those movies feel like Dawson's Creek.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was involved with I Know What You Did Last Summer as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, definitely involved in that as well. And I really like I Know What You Did Last Summer. I know it's not the perfect film.
One I can put on more often than Scream.
It's
still not good. I don't like it, but it's still
But the thing about that film when it came out in like '97, I think it was like kind of like we've been so starved of like horror movies for the early '90s, and then when Scream came out, we just got this deluge of like new horror, and it was like all of a sudden it was cool again, and it was just like we were just bringing out. There was some crap as well, but there was a lot of good stuff amongst the crap, and I love Urban Legend. I just
God, Mike, no.
I love that,
mate.
If you're gonna just give me a slasher film, give me a slasher movie set in like a college university. Yeah. I just think that's the
Pieces.
I don't know. What would you say is the best setting for a slasher movie? Because I love college. I love college university slashers. Or summer camp is probably number one, obviously. But
you ever see Pieces? Like that?
I haven't, mate, no.
Yeah,
great. Fucking watch that. Watch Pieces. It's on Tubi. It's like one of those terrible fucking made old '80s slashers and stuff. It feels more like giallo, kind of like Italian influence a little bit, because I think it was a Spanish movie. It has one of the most random scenes in a movie ever, and it's hilarious. It's absolutely, and you can. Have you ever seen what the hell is it? Cabin Fever. Eli Roth's Cabin Fever.
Yeah.
The little kid who bites the dude on the hand. He starts doing like random kung fu.
Yeah.
Roth has said that Pieces is his favorite movie of all time, and if you watch Pieces and then remember that scene from Cabin Fever, it'll make sense. A complete homage to that movie.
Okay. I'll probably say my favorite. Well, I think it's a good setting. I quite like. Well, say going back to Intruder, I thought being in the shop was a good setting.
That was a very unique one too. You don't see that all. Like a slasher.
That was good.
Grocery story,
and have you guys ever seen Chopper Mall with the robots?
Yeah, Chopper Mall's classic. Man.
It's so ridiculous.
Chopper Mall.
It's fun. That's the thing, though. Even like movies like that in the '80s, I think the '80s obviously has like the most terrible movies that are classics, and that you can still love the hell out of.
It's like Chopper Mall, like the opening scene. You've got like this like middle-aged couple who are like watching like this. It's kind of an introduction to like these robots, what they're going to do and all that. And you think they're going to be part of the plot. You never see them again. It's just they just disappear. What was the point? Why were they even there?
You think they're gonna learn, like they're like mole workers, and they're gonna
or they're gonna die at some point. They just go, and you never see them again.
My big question on Chopper Mall is how the hell were they getting up the escalators?
Yeah. They don't even bother to show that shit.
Don't even. It's basically just like the filmmaker's just like, if I don't think about it, you don't think about it. It's all right.
Yeah, exactly. If we don't put it in the movie, most people won't notice it.
Ed 209 struggled in RoboCop, didn't he? So it's like. Do you remember like the good old days of the '80s when like horror movies just are like hot women, just wall to wall hot women? Because like Chopper Mall, that is like A tier in terms of like good looking women,
Absolutely.
They were just like the blonde. I can't remember who's the blonde. The blonde girl. It was just like he goes to get a drink and she just pulls down the top. It's like, oh my.
Like you're more focused on them when in your life, how many naked women have you seen, and how many fucking robots that shoot lasers around it? You think you want your focus on the thing you never seen before. Nope. I'm just keep my eyes over here.
Isn't because wasn't it Barbara Crampton? Is it Crampton?
Yes, is it Barbara Crampton?
I don't know whether it's her that does that. I can't remember, but
I'm looking it up because now it's going to bother me.
Yeah,
was it? I don't know if it was Barbara Crampton. I think she was a little bit older than
as soon as I remember.
Yeah.
Lawns in the chat, he'll know anyway. So.
Yeah. Let us know.
Yeah, Barbara Crampton is.
Barbara
Crampton. Yeah.
Oh, she's the blonde.
I don't think
the blonde then.
Young. Yeah, maybe I'm just thinking that has been a long time. That was about a year after
smoking brunette in that film as well.
Yeah,
I love that film, Chopper Mall.
You've also got the guy from Gremlins as well and Terminator.
Yes,
he's like the janitor who gets electrocuted in a really, really comedic way. You just see his like bones through. It's just.
Oh, what was his name?
Yeah, like the skeleton on the inside.
Yeah. Oh my god, such a good movie that one.
He always had like really small roles and like he was in a ton of movies. That fella.
Yeah,
wasn't he?
He was a proper like JT, a proper like New Yorker, wasn't he? You know, he's always like that in like New York character. He's the guy in Terminator who sells the guns to Arnie.
That's right.
Arnie goes in, and he goes, "You know your guns, Mister." And he's like Uzi 9mm. It's just like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Also, he goes wrong and just blows him away. It's just like
But you know what I noticed?
Dick Miller, that was his name. That's it. Yeah, the great Dick Miller.
Yeah. I figured Lauren would come in with it. In Breaking Bad, you know Mike, the character Mike.
Yeah,
you guys have both seen Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Mike is in Gremlins. The guy who plays him, Jonathan Banks. He's in the original Gremlins. He's the cop, one of the cops, not driving in the other seat. That's Mike from Breaking Bad. I just noticed it like a few years ago. Like the last time I saw Gremlins, I said Mike from, and I looked it up. I said that is Jonathan Banks. I said, wow, like he looks.
You're right as well.
He looks so young, crazy.
Because it's weird you bring that up actually, because not long ago Beverly Hills Cop was on TV, and I completely forgot he was in that as well. Yeah.
He had just little roles and stuff that he would be in movies, and then you go back after Breaking Bad got big, and I'm looking at that in Gremlins. I'm like, is that him? And it was. I was like, wow, I've never noticed that. And I've seen Gremlins.
He was so good in Breaking Bad. I loved his character.
Oh, that whole show was like my top 3 shows of all time.
Phenomenal. Yeah, completely agree.
Oh, Ben in chat, horror movies set on the set of a horror movie is awesome too. You ever see Popcorn?
I haven't, mate. No,
that's not like the set of a horror movie. But it's like a horror-thon that they're putting on, that they're watching like horror movies all night, and then like they end up some crazy killer starts killing them off. It's cheesy as shit, and there's Jamaican music playing through the whole movie because they shot it in Jamaica, and that was like the only thing they could use. It really doesn't fit well like with the movie at all, the score, but it's fun though. Like
you've sold it to me.
Ridiculous, like beyond. But
is it an older one?
91.
Yeah, it's early 90s. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm
sure. You know what? I think what it is
or something, won't it?
Yeah.
What's that?
I think what puts
I'm sure
me
it'll
off.
Probably be on Shudder or something, won't it?
It might be on Shudder. I know it's on something because I keep passing it when I go through looking for movies.
When I see like 91 to a horror movie, I'm always like a bit hesitant because if it's a film I've not seen and it's like 91, I think, it's that era where I really wasn't really on board with a lot of the films. Video.
It's a dodgy period.
If it said 81, I'd be like, oh shit, I've got to see that movie. But 91, I'm kind of like.
Because then you don't know unless you look it up, before you watch it. This could be one of those direct-to-video fucking movies.
Yeah. Like the early 90s horror just reminds me of Jason Goes to Hell, and it just puts me off everything.
It's funny, a channel that I used to follow all the time. I still do. But he made he's not a Scream fan either, and he always used to get pissed off when people would say Scream saved horror in the 90s. And he made a great video, actually, to fight that argument.
Is that Sinister Cinema Reviews?
Yeah.
I watched that video.
Yeah, it's a great video. He just goes year by year listing off just amazing fucking movies that we got in those like Academy Award winner and stuff with Misery and like all that. It's like in Scream, like we need you, please come. Like great points, like great video.
I haven't seen that video he's done, but I would probably tend to agree with him on that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think what it was more is just like the slasher big franchises weren't there anymore. And that's great. Like the slasher was a dying subject.
Unfortunately was at the time. Yeah.
I just wish we had a better movie revive it, like a better franchise. That's just.
Did you know? I actually don't mind Scream, to be honest with you. But I'm the same as you a little bit, JT. Like I don't think it's this. Like I think it gets hailed a bit too high. No, I don't think it's a bad movie. I do think it's good, but I don't think it's as great as what like the old people out to be.
Not for me. I like there's some cool stuff in there. The whole stuff with at the beginning with Drew Barrymore, excellent. Like
it's got a great opening.
Yeah, such an iconic opening for a horror movie. And I think the most clever thing in it, which is really kind of saying how much I feel about this movie, but having Jamie Kennedy's character watching Halloween on the couch, and he's saying, "Watch out, Jamie! You know he's behind you," while the Ghostface killer is behind him, Jamie Kennedy. That's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Like just having him say Jamie's behind you when there's a killer behind Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah.
I think
clever shit. Like that's great stuff.
I think like Scream just like worked so well at the time. It just kind of seemed to be on board with like pop culture at the time. It kind of
It came
really
out at the right time.
Yeah, it really spoke to like a young audience, which like a lot of horror movies from the previous few years didn't do. It was also one of the first movies which really made the most of like mobile phones. Or cell phones, I suppose you say.
Well, that's why that opening scene is so effective.
Yeah, it's like it was the probably 96 that was kind of just around the time where mobile phones were becoming like more compact and like something you could put in your pocket. You know, everyone remembers the early 90s, these giant sorts of things which were just ridiculous.
Did you ever have a pager?
It was no.
I did.
I like Lauren's comment. Because I think it's the first time you just said something absolutely amazing. Yes, 100%. Lauren,
I can't agree with that. I can't agree.
No, I love Scream 1 and Scream 2. Scream 3 is shit. 4 is
I haven't seen the new one, the fifth one. So
it's
for good reason.
I'll
watch
it. It's good.
Decent.
I'll give it a watch. It's just not on top of my list.
I'd say 4 is the goriest of the lot.
4 is brutal.
Yeah, and it got a 15 certificate in the UK.
Even
though the first 3 got 18s.
But I would say
for a 15, that was a brutal. For a 15 rating, that film was brutal as hell. That
was brutal.
Didn't make any sense really. That was definitely a straight up 18 certificate movie.
Yeah, because the last Scream movie that just came out was an 18 in the UK, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was nowhere near as brutal as.
Yeah. But I like
after like right when like 6 becomes available after it releases next year, and I'll watch 5 and 6 back to back.
Yeah, I thought the sequels. I thought the second one is the best sequel still.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it's the best sequel. I still think that 1 is the best.
It's just like the meta stuff is great. It's really good and it's handled very well. It's just it still tries to take itself seriously as a slasher film, and because you have that like meta humor and stuff and all that stuff, referential stuff, trying to be semi-serious, it just doesn't work for me. I just laugh like I can't take it seriously. Like when you watch a movie like from the 80s, you know everyone on the set knew it was a terrible movie, not to be taken seriously and stuff. They knew there was a terrible, like not even terrible, but just a movie that you can not take seriously. Turn your brain off and just laugh and enjoy it. Scream tried taking itself seriously, and that's why it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, fair enough. I appreciate that.
Like that's basically like what it is for me. Like with Ghostface always being different fucking heights. It'll be up here on Sydney, and then when you find out it's the mom in the second movie, she's like fucking 5 foot. It's
very good point. Very good point.
Yeah, the sizes will be different and shit.
But then ever since Scary Movie came out, I couldn't take it seriously.
That's too. Anytime I watch Scream, which is rare, it reminds me of a better film, Scary Movie. Like I just start thinking of all those scenes when they're happening in Scream, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's right, that's funny as shit when they did that."
Oh, it's hilarious.
When you think about it, if you're trying to be an effective killer, the Scream outfit is totally implausible. In terms of moving about, no wonder they're so clumsy. It's just
it's always falling over.
Yeah.
That's because they got that big ass dress that comes down below their feet, and they're tripping all over. And I don't like when people put Ghostface as a top slasher killer. He's not. There's been like 10 different people dressed up like him. It's an iconic costume.
He's not a man
killer. Like it's just a fucking costume people wear. So you see that a lot though. Like
I will tell you who has jumped into my like probably top 5 slashes already is Art the Clown. I only recently watched Terrifier 2. Mm-hmm. What a movie that I absolutely loved it. Loved it. And you are right, Mike. It is a little bit long.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. It could have been trimmed by 40 minutes. Yeah. Only because like it's not actually that bloody. If you take out because of the runtime, it's a lot of blood. But because there's a lot of like character, they build the characters fairly well. You do care
there's
about
a bit more. Yeah, there's a bit more of a story in the sequel than the original. Like they try and like expand the world a little bit.
He had a decent amount of criticism, Leone, for the first movie that it had no plot. Which I mean,
but that's what I like
slasher
about the
films
first one.
don't have a plot. Like I don't know who was complaining about that, but he wanted to like add in like better characters. And the Sienna Angel character, he wrote like 10 years ago. He's been trying to get like the right way to put her into a movie, and finally did. And
I absolutely
writing character that he's done. It's amazing. I love it so much. It's great.
Loved it. But like,
I might have the producer on the channel for an interview. The executive producer, Steve Barton. I was talking to him the other day. He's like, "Yeah, I'd love to." And I said, "Just hit me up. Let me know when you're available." So I'm waiting to hear back from him.
That'll be cool, man.
Yeah. Because I know he's a huge horror fan too. So
Yeah.
just to shoot the shit horror wise with him will be cool.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I'll be getting my review off of Terrifier soon in the next few days, and like I loved it, man. Like I was surprised how much I actually really did enjoy the sequel to it, because I loved the first one as well. So
yeah.
You know, I just think the guy that plays like Arthur, I just think his performance is phenomenal. It doesn't get praised anywhere near as much as it should, in my opinion.
There's a lot of people think that like you don't talk, like killers that don't talk and have a mask and stuff like that. Oh, anybody can do it. Even when it comes to like Jason, like with Kane Hodder's performance, not everybody can do that. Like it's not just a come here, wear this costume guy off the street and put on this performance. Like it takes something. And since he had so much charisma, David Howard Thornton just off the charts with like his reaction.
That's what I mean. He can just give a look, and it's
terrifying.
You know what it's terrifying and funny at the same time. Like he generally makes me laugh, but at the same time, I'm like, fuck that. I don't want him anywhere near me. You know what I mean?
Like he's like kind of like a silent Freddy.
Yeah.
Like we don't have Freddy. We haven't had since 2010. We've had a lot of missed silent killers and stuff. He's silent, but he has the charisma of like Freddy. Like you can picture like making a wisecrack if he talked. But
the death scene with her friend in the second one in her bedroom. My God, man, I think it's been a while since I've had to like turn away a couple of times, but I had to a couple of times watching that. I was like, Jesus Christ, is it not over yet?
It's a great kill. I feel like
it's fantastic.
I don't know if I can call it better than Dawn's kill in the first one, just because you know what's about to happen when she's hanging upside down and shit.
I thought that was worse.
The implication of that is just like horrific. So like that scene still like ranks kind of really high for like best kill in that.
And it's the way he's just smiling and laughing through it all. You're like,
like grand old time. Like he's just digging into some fucking nachos at a diner and like his birthday happy.
Yeah, just doesn't care. You know what I mean?
Just killing some person, chopping them to bits, puts bleach in the back where you like cut her back. Oh, that's fucking sick.
Oh yeah.
Salt packing it in. That's
it's evil. The one that got me where he breaks her arm but bends it back the other way. Like anything like that, just
wrenching this shit out of there.
Yeah, and then rips it.
Great.
Oh, just my God.
Leone is not even just a great director; he's fucking phenomenal at practical effects because he did all the effects.
It was like that little clip in The Simpsons where it's like, "Stop, she's already dead."
I
was like, just leave her alone.
That's funny. Now I'm gonna think of that every time I see it now.
Yeah.
Simpsons now.
And then he's handing kids the candies and that in the head. He's cut the top of the head off. I was pissing myself laughing at that.
That's what I think is cool about that series. Like you can it's one that you can laugh at and is brutal.
You can.
For most like most like hardcore fanatics of horror like us, but like even just like people that are decently into horror and like that's not too over their boundary, like right at their boundary. You can laugh a lot at it too. So it like just takes you away, like lets you breathe for a little bit, like until another.
Like after watching it, I'm not surprised there were probably people being sick in the cinemas and stuff. But if you're going to watch Terrifier 2, surely you've seen the first one, so you know what to expect. It's going to be ramped up to 100 for the sequel. You know what I mean? So
I'm sure the people who were puking and fainting and all that shit were just weekend moviegoers who just it's Halloween season and what is this? Oh, this is a killer clown. Like that
looks creepy. Yeah.
And they had no idea what they were walking into. And then they just were probably like the first few kills and they were just getting sick. They were like, this is even a thing in movies? Like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here.
Because I also like the introduction of the little girl in it as well. I thought she was quite good.
I love her. It's so
when she just shits herself in the little dress, I was like, yes, now we've got a movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like is she meant to be like real or not? Because like the guy in the launchette doesn't see her, but like they the brother and sister see her, but they do see her.
Yeah,
So
it
it's
kind
kind
of
of like a
leaves
bit.
it up in the air a little bit, doesn't it? I think
Yeah.
it's in Art's mind. That's how I kind of saw it, but yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they get
I
to
like
explore
that
that a bit more in other sequels, you know.
They'll explain it probably more in the third one, which
Yeah.
definitely going to be a third one, and possibly.
they're
He's
definitely gonna
almost,
be a third one.
he has like enough material. He said for like almost for basically a fourth film, like if it comes to that. So definitely
Well,
three. Probably.
Well, I'll be watching them. So
Yeah, no, I'm glad you liked X. That you loved X.
I did, mate. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like it surprised me as well. To be honest, I didn't expect to love it as much as I actually did. To be
I
honest
went in
with
with
you.
no knowledge at all, except they film a porno somewhere.
Well, I never going back to actually when we were talking about trailers and stuff. I'd never seen a trailer to X, so I did go in a little bit blind on that. I knew obviously it was about like a young film crew making an adult movie on a farm or whatever. But other than that, I knew nothing about it, and I loved it.
I loved it. You see Pearl yet?
Not yet, mate. No.
Yeah, that's just as good in my opinion, but it's different though. It's a different.
It's totally different.
Yeah, but no,
more of a character study than a
I can help
more of a character study than a
exactly.
You know,
because Pearl, that's obviously based on
whatever X is. I don't
the older woman, isn't it? Yeah, but yeah, I really did like X, and it was surprisingly funny. I didn't expect it to be as funny as it was.
Yeah. Ty West has a way of throwing in like some humor in there, and he has one of the best maybe that I've ever seen. Jump scare, jump scare when people that the character knows the person and they just bump into them and I'm sorry. It's like fuck you, like you're not sorry. You meant to scare the shit out of him. Yeah. He has the best solution to that. Like, and
he also did. I thought he did a really great job in X of making like that old couple like quite creepy and terrifying. To be honest, you wouldn't want to bump into them.
That was Mia Goth playing the old woman, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that till afterwards.
Yeah, no, I didn't until afterwards, actually. Yeah, I thought maybe, because last time I thought that was that I didn't know that was in the Suspiria remake. I didn't know Tilda Swinton was playing the old guy.
Right.
Afterwards, I was like, "Are you fucking serious?" And she's amazing, Tilda Swinton.
I haven't seen the remake of that actually, so I'll have to get around to that one.
That's
not cheers, mate. It's all right.
That's not. But just the fact that she played an old man like that, it was like, wow, really? So then that's what made me think of it when I was watching X for the first time. I was like,
yeah.
That maybe, probably, but I didn't find out and look it up until afterwards.
But I am enjoying Ty West movies. Like I really enjoyed The House of the Devil. I thought that was brilliant. Really did like it.
He has such a great way of capturing like the 70s feel.
Yeah, but I also really appreciated like the slow burn to that movie as well because the payoff, like it.
Oh yeah, not much happens in the movie.
No, but it keeps you engaged.
Yeah, and it just keeps building.
Definitely gives off 80s vibes more than most. In terms of a modern-ish, it's 2009, so it's still modern. Yeah. But in terms of film, like giving off 80s vibes, that really does a good job. More than most. Brilliant.
And I like the Innkeepers as well.
Innkeepers is a solid little movie.
Yeah,
I think Innkeepers, what breaks it, like makes it or breaks it for people, is the characters. If you don't like those two characters, the main characters, you're not going to care for the movie.
Yeah, I just like it.
I adore those characters.
I love the female. She's kind of like a young Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
Cute as a button as well. You know what I mean?
There was a couple of moments in the Innkeepers where I proper shit myself. Like it did make me jump a couple of times.
There's some great funny, and that's what I said. The jump scare thing. The guy goes, "I don't want to scare you, but I'm right behind you," and she still screams and stuff. That's the best way to approach somebody in that situation. I'm like, anytime a jump scare like that happens in a movie where someone scares the shit out of a person, I'm referencing fucking the Innkeepers because that is the perfect way to do it. Even though she does still get terrified.
So I would take it. Ty West obviously did Pearl as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So I'm up for watching it, man. I'll watch it. Like,
and then he's got the sequel coming up next year, Maxine, which is
just
the sequel to X.
Thing they named it Maxine because when you put them in order, like chronologically, then it'll be Pearl.
She basically goes into X-rated movies in the 80s.
In the 80s somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you sold me at that, mate.
Pearl meets Maxine.
Yeah. So he's basically created his own little mini universe.
It is a bit like that. It's something that he's, in the space of 12 months, you've created this kind of like little sort of own little universe of like where he could go anywhere. You could, if he wanted to, he could create his own little sort of like MCU where he could just go off. In the next movie, he could bring in other elements connecting this, and it doesn't have to be like a $200 million, $300 million movie to like create your own. You can just do something on a small budget. People are on board now. It's done well.
Ty knows how to write to budget, so I mean, even if he had a small budget, like Project Freddy, he knows how to write to that budget and not do anything crazy, so it all works.
Yeah. Well, whatever he decides to do, I'm on board with it anyway, 100%.
Yeah, no, I love him. I love Ty West. Everything he's done.
Yeah.
The ritual or the sacrifice was one of those, right? Mike,
he did the Sacrament, didn't he?
Sacrament? Yeah, the Sacrament. That's a good one too.
I haven't seen that one. I'll have to go back and watch that. Yeah, I need to go back and watch it.
The Ritual. I don't know who did The Ritual. The Ritual's a really good movie.
Yeah,
I don't know who directed it.
That's why
it's Ray Spall. It's a British movie.
I was going to say it's a UK one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's set in like Norway or something, but it's got like a troll theme to it. Like a bunch of British guys go to like Denmark. They go to somewhere in Scandinavia. Right. They go to a forest camping, but then there's this sort of ancient sort of like it's something to do with trolls.
I'm not too sure. I do remember. Yeah. I think I've started watching it, and then
it was David Bruckner directed it. We're talking about the 2017 one, right?
Yeah, that's it. 2017.
Yeah,
good movie. Yeah, that's David Bruckner, right? Yeah.
He did.
I'll have to give it another go.
It is a good film.
There's a movie I've been trying to remember the name of like lately that I can't. There's like these like people who go on like a backpacking trip through some like Eastern European village and shit, and there's like fog everywhere, and then like they go in there and there's like a creepy ass looking statue that kind of looks like Pazuzu. Then like they end up getting like caught by this cult, and like these kind of like from Black Sunday, the mask with the fucking nails in it gets like nailed onto them and shit. I can't think of what it is. It's driving me nuts the last week or so.
At first, I thought I recognized it, but I don't think I've seen it.
No, I don't know what that is, but that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's actually killing me that I can't remember.
Yeah. When you find out, let me know. I'll watch that.
Yeah, no.
There's a lot of movies where somebody goes backpacks in Eastern Europe.
I know. I said
bad shit happens. Look at like Chernobyl Diaries, which I actually really like.
I like that movie.
Yeah.
I like Chernobyl. No, I don't like.
I thought that was quite good. Chernobyl Diaries.
Chernobyl Diaries.
Yeah. I like that. There was one that was filmed over on the Isle of Man. It was filmed in Hungary and on the It Man. And I said, you probably won't know who he is, JT, but it was a guy called Danny Dyer. It was called
every Monday with him.
Yeah, and it was Severance. Have you seen Severance? Do you remember that one? It's where it's like like a works group go on like a retreat.
Yeah,
somewhere.
Severance is Danny Dyer. He always plays the same character.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, but like a lot of Severance was actually filmed on the Isle of Man. Weirdly enough, there you go. There's a little tidbit for you.
Have you ever looked into that? Like how many movies have been?
I know Lorne loves Severance.
Movie shot on that where you live on the Isle of Man.
Well, yeah. Well, back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a lot. I mean, I used to do film extra work back then when I was younger because it was easy money.
Yeah. So I figured there'd be a decent amount that get filmed.
Yeah. So there was always like period pieces that was filmed over here because there's a lot of places on the island that look like old timey UK, So there was quite a lot of films that was done over here, and then over the years it just died off, unfortunately. Yeah. But it used to be great for the island, yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it's just how it can boost the economy there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was one. I'm trying to remember which ones I did. It was such a long time ago. I remember one over here called "I Captured the Castle" with Henry Cavill was in. Before he was like, that was done on the Isle of Man, and there was one. I can't remember what it was called. Come back to me on that one, but it was based on like the Mr. Ripley stories, like Talented Mr. Ripley.
Yeah, Talented Mr. Ripley. Yep.
Yeah, but it wasn't Matt Damon that did it. It was someone else, and I can't remember his name. Barry Pepper. That was him. He played like Ripley in one of the Ripley's Underground. It was called, and I was in that as well.
That's familiar. That was on. That's cool. You got at least some good movies there. I don't know any movies. I know there's a ton that were filmed like near me on Long Island. Like I never looked into.
Say it. That's to be, where you are. There has to be something.
I'm sure. I'm sure even a lot
like
of the Amityville little sequels filmed around there because I'm 10 minutes from the Amityville house.
Yeah.
So I'm sure a lot of those stupid sequels were filmed around.
I don't know if it's just like too expensive to film like in New York, but like it's like Captain America: Winter Soldier. A lot of the films which are meant to be set it's meant to be set in New York, but they film it in Liverpool because the city centre kind of looks in certain sections looks reminiscent of New York. And I know they're filming a TV show now which is meant to be set in Philadelphia, and they're filming some of that in Liverpool as well because it's probably a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper to film here than it is in America because.
Well, the main one in recent times is Robert Pattinson's Batman. Like a good chunk of that was in Liverpool, wasn't it?
Batman was Liverpool, yeah.
And which, I love that movie, but still, when I was watching it, especially for the funeral scene, I couldn't. As soon as I seen it, I was like, "There's Liverpool." Like it just, you just know.
You see, like the Liver building.
Liver building,
It's like that's not Gotham City. That's like I know that.
It was so cool that they used the Liver building for Gotham PD. So every time I go back to Liverpool, I just think, "Oh, it's Gotham Police Department." Look.
Yeah.
Splinter, Ben. Splinter's a great movie, Ben.
Splinter.
I've seen Splinter. Yeah, is that the one?
Is that the one with the bud? That's the one with the.
Yeah.
It's like with the spikes at the end.
That is really good, actually.
That's a great movie, actually. It's cool effect.
It's like in like the middle of it's like sort of hillbilly type, like where they go, it's typical like the gas station. You don't want to be around here, and
or a garage, as we would call it. Yeah,
I'm trying to be. I'm trying to like. I always like to try just Americanize phrases for the.
Because I was going to say garage, but I'm pretty sure it's not called a garage in America, and I was trying to think of what it's gas station. That's it. Yeah.
All I know about American movies.
I just say what you guys say.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I don't know the American phrase for whatever the hell they're talking about. So whatever they just said, that works.
Well, yeah, Splinter was fucking. Yeah, it was a good movie. That I like that. I think I've got that on a Blu-ray actually. I think I own that somewhere. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I might get that back out and give it a rewatch. Actually,
I don't think I've ever seen an American movie in like the sort of like the backwoods sort of like deep south type environment where they go to a gas station and it's like a friendly environment. It's always like a creepy guy who's pumping the gas, and they go to like the toilet, and there's going to be some creep.
It's always a creepy old guy with no teeth.
One of the cabin in the woods. They have the they're at the gas station. It's part of the whole fucking organization.
Same as Ron Tim was creepy guy.
Yeah, because they play into it in that film as well. They basically play into that trope, don't they? It's this is.
I wonder when that started. I like that trope. Like, I wonder if it was like one of the first, some of the first few movies to do that.
It's got to be 70s, like The Hills of Ice and stuff like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Did they go to a gas station in Deliverance? I can't remember. Deliverance, like that's like 73.
God,
did they go to a gas station?
Because
that is like the archetypal sort of like.
I would probably
city
say,
boys going to the middle of nowhere and just.
I would probably say I think they did, but it's been such a long time since I've seen that movie. Great movie though.
Yeah.
That's
kind of like the earliest.
I'm gonna hop off because I gotta go on the Midnight Society with me and Pat, and we're having some other person on. Al's not around tonight for some reason, so it's just 2/3 of the Midnight Society now. But
all right,
no worries, mate. Hope it goes well, buddy.
Good seeing you guys. I'll talk to you guys later,
man. Okay.
Good seeing you, mate. Take care of yourself, man.
Later, JT. See you later, man. See you next week.
And now we're down to 2.
Down to just the Merseyside boys,
That's right, the 18.
I don't have to like try and whenever I'm like doing a live stream like any American audience, I always feel like, obviously Americans watching, but I always feel like I've got to try and like be a bit more sort of speak a little bit slower, try and be a bit more concise, and because I think they might struggle to understand, but then obviously if I'm talking to someone just like me, I'm just like, oh fuck it, I'll just start talking really fast, and they haven't got a problem. It's just you know what I mean.
It's saying that I don't think I think our accent's not really, because I don't think your accent's really that strong, to be honest.
No,
with
it's
you.
not. It's not. It's not
You know.
really compared to like I'm from like the South End of Liverpool, so it's not like I'm
Right.
not like from like fucking like Anfield or something.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
God,
It's not like,
yeah.
but I mean, but it's still sometimes you're kind of like wary of, you know, because
Yeah.
I don't know, even though I can understand every American accent I ever
Yeah.
hear, there always seems to be an issue. Like I know the guys in the stream are great. Like they don't seem to have an issue, but there always seems to be a thing with like American seems to like struggle with like English accents sometimes, and they don't know what people are saying. And I'm like, I've never really understood that. I'm like, why? It's not like, you know what I mean? It's just
because I've always thought that I kind of like lost my accent over the years, but then when I like rewatch like my reviews and stuff or videos before I post them on, I'm like, God, I can hear the accent. You know, so
the thing is though, the Isle of Man, a lot of people, the Isle of Man to me just sounds like it's like a lot of people just sound like they're from Liverpool, or like they're not from Liverpool, they're from the. It's like it's a real sort of like it's
basically what it is. Yeah.
They don't sound like they're from Manchester.
No.
They just sound like it's from Liverpool, but they've been away from Liverpool for a while.
It's like Liverpool and Irish. It's weird. You know what I mean?
Basically what a Liverpool accent is anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Liverpool, it's like Irish, Welsh, and Lancashire mixed together.
Yeah.
You know,
well, there's a lot of people over here from like Birkenhead, Liverpool that live over here.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Orc says it's because they're retarded. Yeah. Orc knows it's cool.
That's not very nice.
He's like, look, that's Orc for you. Orc's a good guy. Although I've got an issue to raise with Orc, because Orc's from like Maine,
right?
You know, on the you know, in like northeast states, and I did notice, Orc, that I've got an issue. It's like, why, you know, you had like a beauty contest in up your ways a few days ago, and they decided to give the winner. The winner was a guy called Brian, who won a women's beauty contest.
How does that work?
It was on Twitter. Don't ask. It's 2022.
Yeah,
some guys like 6'3" called Brian won a women's beauty contest, but it was in Orc's neck of the woods in Maine. I think it was in Maine, New England.
Did he tuck his cock in like Buffalo Bill and do that?
Yeah. I think,
so what's he saying? What's he saying here? You guys are going down in the World Cup. Do you know what? You're probably right, mate. With fucking Gareth Southgate, mate. It wouldn't surprise me, to be honest.
Well, that World Cup's a just joke anyway.
Do you know what? I'm not even excited about it, mate. I couldn't care less at all.
It's like a World Cup in the winter. What's that
wrong.
all about? It's just joke, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stupid.
If it was in the summer, I'd be a bit more up for it, but I just...
Yeah, but we all know you can't have a World Cup in the summer in Qatar because it's like 130 degrees. So it's like,
mate, it shouldn't even be there anyway.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't.
You know,
I did enjoy seeing like Gary Neville getting just destroyed on I don't know if you saw Gary Neville's.
I got news for you.
He's He's always on Twitter like banging on like I'm so good, I'm so righteous and all that, and then. He was on Have I Got News for You, and Ian Hislop just destroyed him.
Yeah, and he was right as well.
Yeah,
right
absolutely.
In everything he said.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It just showed Neville up. You know what I mean. Like I don't dislike Neville, but I just don't. He's a bit of a gobshite to me. Like I just don't.
Yeah, really I think he is. A bit like Lineker, Gary Lineker.
Yeah. Oh, he's good. Yeah, he's getting bad. Yeah,
he gets on my nerves. We'll get off that just like the American audience is just like
they won't have a clue what we're going on about. So
what these two fucking limeys talking about?
Yeah, we'll get off that subject.
Let's get back onto movies for a bit.
Anyway. Absolutely, mate.
What have you watched recently? Anyway, have you watched the Lair? The new it's the Lair. Lair. It's the new. What's his name? The guy who did Dog Soldiers, Neil Marshall.
Oh no, no, I haven't, mate. No, what I've watched recently is watched Terrifier 2, like you guys know. So I'll have a review out for that in the next few days. I'm due to watch Barbarian.
Oh, that's I like that. I like Barbarian. I know some people have got an issue with it. I know
I've heard it's I've had very mixed reaction from people that I know that have watched it.
Yeah, I think the first 45 minutes is stronger than the second 45 minutes. It's kind of a movie of two halves.
Right.
Because you kind
So
of got
what-
like this. It introduces like a couple of characters, and then introduces a new character halfway through the movie. So
Right.
it's kind of one of them. It's. I was more down for the first half of the movie
Yeah,
than the second half of the movie.
very similar to what I've heard before.
Yeah.
So due to watch that, but I watched the new VHS 99.
Yeah, I didn't like that. To be fair,
It was mixed for me. I think I gave it like a 3 out of 5 or 3.5 out of 5. I think because I liked some of the segments more than others, which normally happens in anthologies. But it wasn't out of all of them. It was definitely one of the weakest. I think.
I like the is it Vinny's Dungeon? I quite like that one.
Yeah, the guy that plays Trevor in GTA 5 was the guy. Yeah, he was funny as hell. He was. I like that. I didn't.
It was like watching Double Dare back in the day with Peter Simon. Remember?
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, and like Funhouse. Do you remember Funhouse?
Pat Sharp.
Yeah, we've lost our American audience here, so we'll get back to that. But I watched VHS 99 and I watched Deadstream. That's on Shudder.
Oh, I watched that today.
And do you know what, mate?
I didn't
Didn't
like
you?
it.
I'm the complete opposite to you, mate. I had a blast with it and the reason why I had a blast with it because there are pricks like him on YouTube.
Oh, I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like really Hall. And I thought he did a great job with it because I couldn't stand him, but I thought that was the whole point, to be honest. So I liked it and I thought it was quite funny, and it generally did creep me out a couple of times because like found footage stuff can easily scare me a little bit because it just looks a bit, real, like kind of thing. But I liked it.
He was too. I suppose he did a good job because he was too on the money with being like an annoying YouTuber because he was so. Oh my god, the character himself, and I like the first sort of like 30 minutes, but then it just kind of went downhill for me and
went a bit. I can understand that because I've seen some reviews. They say the same thing, but I don't know. It just ticked the box for me, man. I just appreciated it for what it was. So when I come around to do my review for it, it will be quite positive. So I really didn't mind it.
It is a Shudder exclusive, and you can't expect too much. I mean, if it's a decent movie, what can you make? It's not like it's a big budget release or anything. No. So
I thought it was done extremely well. Like, in
terms of like, there's a really good Shudder movie from last year called Vicious Fun, which is a Shudder. I think it's a Shudder exclusive.
I think it is. I think I've seen that pop up.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. It's it looks like it looks like a more expensive movie than what it cost. It looks like a really sharp, like nicely made movie, and it is just a Shudder release, and it's really, and the main lead, the main guy is like really like enjoyable, good cat. He's well cast. It's if you've got Shudder, just definitely check it out because it's.
I love Shudder. Do you know what? Just for £5 a month, it's a bargain for me. Yeah. I love it, and I think it's really cool how they are doing their own content now as well.
Yeah, they have to. I think. Yeah, because that's the way forward for these streaming. You've got to offer something that's unique to what that.
To answer that question before that was up anyway, I would probably say 99 is slightly better than Viral. I think Viral is probably the weakest VHS.
Yeah, I think I've not seen Viral. I know a lot of people say
it wasn't great, mate. Yeah, it wasn't. So just on a technicality like that, I think 99 had better segments in it than what Viral did.
Yeah, what's up?
Because the one with the girl was buried alive. That's one of my worst fears. So that segment itself, like, just spoke to me. I was just like, completely fuck that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Orc mentions Dashcam. I didn't like Dashcam.
I haven't seen it, mate. I've got no interest in it.
I know Chris likes it as well. I love Host because it's the same director of Host. Have you seen Host?
I haven't seen that, mate.
It's like one of those COVID movies. It's a UK film.
Right.
It was just like it played into all those like sort of like.
Was the Dashcam? Wasn't it friggin' taken off cinemas or something? Wasn't there like a big thing about it last year?
It never went into cinemas. It was just it was a exclusive to. I think it was. I don't think it was in cinemas.
I'm sure there was a story where it was supposed to show, and they took it off for some reason or whatever. They wouldn't show it.
I'm not sure. I just know maybe it did. I just know that it's very low budget. It's all done through, it's basically like a live stream, a bit like Deadstream. It's all like live running commentary throughout the film.
Yeah. And it's a UK movie, you were saying?
It's a UK, it's a British movie. It's an American lead, but she's in London, and then I don't really want to go into too much. The film just not for me. If you've seen Host is like another. It's a COVID movie basically, so it's a movie based around COVID lockdown. Okay. Host, which is the director's movie before Dashcam, it's way better. It's a bit like if you like Unfriended.
I didn't mind that actually.
Yeah, it's a lot. Host is along those sort of lines. It's all done from a Zoom meeting. It's basically a Zoom meeting,
right?
And it's like it's only an hour long. It's not even like a full. It's like an hour, 55 minutes. I'm not sure who's streaming it. It may be on Shudder, but I loved Host. I think Host is just so good.
It'll probably be on Prime, won't it?
Maybe, yeah. Dashcam not for me, to be honest. But each to their own.
Yeah.
There
we go. Someone else says, someone else didn't like it there.
But
like I say, it's all subjective, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, exactly. I mean, apart from Halloween Resurrection.
Oh, we can all agree that film is fucking awful.
See, it's not all subjective. I don't think I've ever seen anybody who likes that film ever.
All right, here's a question for you then. Resurrection or Ends, which is better?
Oh, Ends. Definitely.
I've got to go for Resurrection just for Busta Rhymes fucking kicking Michael Myers out of a window.
Yeah.
Trick or treat, motherfucker. Ends didn't have that.
Oh, sorry, Sean. Hello, Sean.
Hiya, Sean. You're right.
I thought I said hello. Is he?
I think we were just waffling on, mate. Yeah.
If we're waffling on, it's like I'm getting distracted. Plus, I don't know what's going on with my internet, but like some of the people who are popping up on the chat, the icon isn't next to them. It's like, so for like Lorne Orc, there's like their YouTube, persona, like
it's not
but
popping up on
for
there.
Sean and Chris, it's just like like when you get like that sort of like it's like a window with like a it's like that, whereas it means your internet's not working properly. So for some reason they're showing up like that.
Well, I like Sean's. It's popping up. He's got my boy from Last of Us on there. So,
well, I can't even see that. I can't even see his profile. But
yeah, Joel. He's got Joel from The Last of Us, one of my favorite video game characters. So yeah,
I don't really play video games.
I still do, mate. I've never grown out of it. I still do.
I'd like to, but I don't know. It's just that I think working like all hours God sends half the time, and then coming home and it's like, what's the easiest thing to do? Just watch a movie, or like just go on YouTube, or put the effort into like a game. Like video games now are just so like long-winded.
Mate, they take up a lot of time. You know what I mean? They really do. And I'm the same. I haven't really played games for a while since I've started like changed job and started doing night shifts and stuff. So, I just got to try and find the time, make up the time and do it,
Yeah.
But I'm the same as you. When I finish my shift, the easiest thing to do is just jump into bed and stick a movie on.
Yeah.
Or watch a bit of telly.
I'm just too tired. It's like I used to play Skyrim all the time, and I still
that takes over your life, that thing. Yeah.
I still never even got close to completing it or like anything. I'm just like still like I thought I put like 200 hours in and I'm still like only like 30% into the game.
Yeah.
So it's just like one of them. So I used to play FIFA religiously as well, but
I've gone off FIFA, mate. I think like the last one I played was about 2 or 3 years ago, and it was just putting me into an absolute rage. So I thought, you know what, I'm probably best not even playing these.
I'd go online, I'd just lose. I'd be like 2-1 up and then lose 3-2 in the last 5 minutes. I was like, no,
because
I've had enough.
Because like we're being the Tranmere Rovers fan, I used to go Tranmere on all the time, and they're fucking awful on it. So I just used to like, I just used to go, fuck this, I've had enough.
Yeah,
throw the pad, and then that was it.
Well, at least you're a Tranmere fan. At least you're not like glory hunting and like going after, like.
Oh, there's absolutely no glory where I support, mate. None. Yeah. But yeah, for being from Birkenhead and that Tranmere being my local team, and that was just.
Well, there's no glory in supporting Everton either, so.
No, there ain't, mate. No. No, but I used to have a season ticket for the Tranmere games and that when I lived back home. So, yeah, used to love going. When we were decent back then when I used to go.
Oh yeah, I remember back in the day when Aldridge was there. I think like
John Aldridge,
semi-final of the FA Cup one year, wasn't it? I think. Or
quarter final. Yeah, we got to the final. Yeah, we got to the final of the League Cup in the last League Cup at Wembley, the old Wembley. Yeah. We were in that. Yeah, we had like even just a little bit before then when we had like Pat Nevin playing for us as well and all that. So we had a good side. We were close to the Premier League for about 3 years running, but we fucked it up every year in the playoffs. So yeah, and then we've never really hit them heights since. No. Unfortunately for us, but I'll still be a fan. I'm still a fan anyway. So.
Sean says video game storytelling beats most movies nowadays.
I would
difficult.
I would 100% agree with that. To be honest with you, because but also with the thing is with video games, because you're playing a certain character or characters in the game, you get more immersed in that world because you're controlling it. So it's I think video games now are just becoming, head and shoulders.
Sean says, so what's your favourite Beatles album, Mike? You can have to. I'm not the biggest Beatles fan. To be fair, I know sacrilege, but I think a lot of people who are from like our area, neck of the woods, but kind of like they assume that you should be like big Beatles fans. But I suppose it's like saying to somebody from like I don't know. I'm trying to think.
I don't dislike the Beatles. I quite like a lot of the Beatles music, but I'm not. I'm the same, man. I'm not like massively into it at all. But I can appreciate the Beatles.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a really like big like New York band and expecting someone from New York to be fans of that band, and it's like
everybody in New York,
but like nobody likes them. It's just people from outside New York likes that band. You know what I mean? Or
I've got absolutely nothing against the Beatles, man. They're absolutely iconic. You know what I mean? So
I mean, JT had the Beatles T-shirt on.
He did. I noticed that. Yeah.
Because I said to him, oh, we did a stream the other week, and I'd been for a few drinks, and I said, I've just been for a drink, JT, and I said, I've just been on Penny Lane, literally just like there's a pub on Penny Lane. It's like he was like, oh, I'm so jealous, man. I was like, it's like okay, but he lives on fucking Long Island, so he's like only like a fucking stone's throw from like New York.
I remember when I was in America, when I went to America about 20 years ago. And I remember chatting to this girl in a bar in Los Angeles, and I told her I was born on Penny Lane.
Yeah,
and I just went with that. It worked,
Yeah,
I thought, I'll just go on with the sly. Why not?
She's going to prove it, is she? So
exactly, man. She thought I was Australian originally. When I went to America, I was either Irish or Australian. And every time I said, no, I'm English. I'm from Liverpool. And I would say Liverpool because if you said Birkenhead, they just wouldn't have it.
Well, no,
it's just Liverpool. That's it. Everyone knows what Liverpool is.
Yeah, so. For anyone in the chat who's like wondering like the geography, so Liverpool's kind of like Manhattan, and Birkenhead, where Dave's from, is like New Jersey. One for you there, Lorne.
Yeah, so, it is a little bit. Yeah. So it's like basically
you've just got the river separating, and so you've got like Liverpool on one side of the river, and on the other side of the river is like Jersey. So.
Yeah,
Lorne. Dave's kind of like he's like a cut brother from another mother.
And that's where Ferry Cross the Mersey comes from.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was that was Jerry and the Pacemakers, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Jerry and the Pacemakers. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Lorne's got his 4 favourite UK bands as the Who, the Rolling Stones, the Kinks, and the Beatles.
Yeah, fair enough.
I do like I must say, I'm not a big fan of the Rolling Stones. I've never really got the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
I mean, the bit before my time anyway, same,
mate.
I'm not that old, you know what I mean? But
when I think of like Mick Jagger's the Rolling Stones, isn't he? Yeah. I'm glad I got that right then. They'll say the only memory I really have of Mick Jagger in the 80s is that music video we did with David Bowie. Do you remember?
Yeah. Is it what's
Dancing in the streets? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's it. That's my memory as an 80s kid.
That's only the first wave.
And they took the
wave.
Yeah, and they took the piss out of that music video on Family Guy. I remember once they did the whole fucking video and it showed it all.
Oh no, Lorne's saying the Pistols overhauled them, so Sex Pistols.
That was never a big. That's not my kind of music. Like
Chris says, "You guys soccer hooligans?" No.
Yes.
That's just. Well, Dave might be. I don't know.
No, God, no, absolutely not. No,
that's the popular perception of English people to an American audience. That everyone's.
By the way,
hooligans.
Slash Your Home video. It's football, not soccer.
Yeah,
I don't care.
It is.
I don't care. It's not soccer. Football. There you go.
As in, we play it with our feet.
Yes.
Not like the American version where you use your hands.
Yeah.
So
should not be
your version
football.
makes no sense.
Absolutely.
If yours
not,
is handball, ours is football.
That's it. I'll stick by that one. So no, I'm not a soccer hooligan, but I'm a football hooligan. No, man, not at all. I don't get any of that shit, to be honest.
Okay, I'm gonna have to wrap things up now, guys, because it is like 1 a.m. in the UK.
Okay, yeah, it's getting thick now. That's it.
It
Do
is.
you know what? This has absolutely flown by, mate. To be honest, I've enjoyed it.
It's 2 hours have just gone.
Yeah,
I always sometimes think I sometimes see like live streams and they're on for like 3-4 hours. I'm like, how would you stream for that long? But if the chat's flowing and you just totally forget about the time and that.
Absolutely.
But
unfortunately,
if I wasn't working tomorrow, I'd just carry on going. But I mean, ideally, it's like it's. Hang on, what?
Well, I've got a few.
Oh
days
yeah,
off
1 a.m.
now,
Yeah,
so I'm quite lucky. Yeah.
It is 1 a.m. here. I was thinking for a minute it wasn't 1 a.m. here, but it is. Sean's in Ireland. It's the same. I was thinking for a minute. Why is it an hour later in Ireland? It's not. It's what I was thinking it was midnight and it's 1 a.m. So I'm really gonna have to go. Because I've been working in the morning, so fucking hell.
Oh, I've got a few days off. I'm not back till Friday night, so
yeah.
So, I'm just going to catch up with movies, get a couple of reviews out, and that'll be my week sorted.
Well, like I say, hit me up like whenever you've got like days off or whatnot. If it's like if it's like a Sunday, Monday night, Saturday night, whatever.
Yeah.
Hit me up, man, and we'll just organise the stream because JT's always available as well. So because he works early.
Yeah. No, absolutely, mate. I'd love to. I've enjoyed it. It's been great.
Yeah. So if you're not subscribed to Dave, by the way, Dave, plug your channel, man, because you're getting close to 500.
I am. I'm only about, I think I might be 21 away now. So my goal was to hopefully hit 500 before the end of the year. And I'm on course for that. So if you'd please head on over to Savage Zombie Reviews and just click the subscribe button, I'd be forever grateful. And hope you enjoy the content that's there. And thank you for your time if you do that. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah. I agree. Monkey, thank you for jumping on. I know it's a bit late now, man. But I hate it when you're finishing a stream and somebody jumps on the chat and it's like, oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, sorry, man, we're done. Yeah. But no, I haven't seen Private Radio or whatever that was. So no.
What was that? Oh, I've not seen that now.
No, I haven't seen it. I don't know what it is. So
no. I'll put it on IMDb and I'll make a note of it. But anyway, guys, thanks for jumping on. Please leave a like on the video. Everyone, like I say, man, for the amount of subscribers I've got, the chat is always fucking booming. It's just so good. I can't believe how many people just jump on the chat. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's great, man.
You need to start
doing really
it,
well with it, mate.
You need to start live streaming, man.
And I have thought about it, mate, but I don't know. I don't think I have the talent. You do it really well, and so does Gareth. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't really think I'd have the talent for it. But I don't know. I might give one a go and see what happens. And
you know what I do? What my special talent is?
Drink.
Yeah.
I know.
I can't do it sober. That's why I stream. That's why I stream late.
Yeah.
I
know. I had a bottle of rosé here before. I think I finished it. Actually,
where you say you can't stream live, but the way you do your uploads, you record I can't do that. I've tried. I've done a few, and I'm so awkward. And if you've seen the outtakes to my videos, if I ever put them on YouTube, it's like
Oh,
literally I've clicked record and I go and I start and I go fuck because I instantly fuck up and it's just like and I'll get like a minute into, if I get a minute into a video and I stammer or stutter, I have to stop because if you're live streaming, you can do that all you want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if you're doing a pre-recorded video, you've got to kind of, and I can't edit. I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to edit.
I don't. I mean, like if you notice in my videos, I don't edit at all. I don't skip. I don't cut anything out. So like I notice in mine when I do fuck up, but now I just keep it in and just like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? If I make a mistake, I just own it in my videos because I just can't be arsed starting again from scratch. So I just keep it in there, and I think that's what people kind of enjoy half the time when I do make a bollock, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just when I look back on my older videos when I first started, I can see a massive difference now from when I first started to now.
Yeah.
You know, so you just get more comfortable doing it. You just get more comfortable talking in front of the camera. So yeah, I don't even think about it now when I do it. Whereas when I first started it, I was very conscious about it and how I would come across. Now I couldn't give a fuck really. So
yeah,
you know,
I definitely like consider it, like, you know, at some point. You know what I mean? It's just like
you should give it a go, mate.
Yeah, I know. You start doing more live streams, and I'll start trying to do more.
All right, deal. We'll do that, mate.
Okay, right, everyone. I'm going to wrap things up now, guys. Thanks for jumping on, Dave. Thank you a lot. GT,
absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Gareth. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for joining in.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Don't forget, go and subscribe to Dave's channel. Get to 500, and I will see you guys later. Good night.
See you later, guys.